So today I want to talk about the market bottom and how do we know when it's the market bottom? What's sort of the metrics of measuring that? It is something that's I see sort of the most used method of determining a market bottom seems to be technical analysis, which in my mind it's technical analysis, and some people say that the market bottom is basically whenever the Fed changes policies. So as soon as the Fed becomes more dovish, that's when the market will bottom out. But I think let's look at what, in essence, the consequences of the market bottom. The first one I think is there's two types of money out there. There's the smart money and the dumb money, or the professional traders and the retail traders, or obviously these are the terms used. I didn't make these up. Don't shoot me. But at the end of the day, there are two groups of traders out there. And my theory is that in bear markets, or in bull markets, let's start with bull markets. In bull markets, your retail group grows quite a bit. So you have a lot of retail traders entering the market. Oh wow, okay, that's a bit of a problem. You have a lot of retail investors entering the market, and then the actual amount of money that the retailers control gets insane, because there's millions of retailers each putting in a couple of $1,000s. Obviously it ends up being a lot of money. Whereas your professional investors, they are a lot smaller group of people, so they obviously control large sums of money each. That's your hedge funds managers, your money managers, your mutual funds, those kind of people. And I think in bear markets, whenever you get to the top of a bear market, what I think happens, from what I can see, is that the professional traders, the hedge funds, the mutual funds, the money managers, they pull out their money. So they read the signs and they see things are getting a little hectic now. And then one by one they start pulling out of the market because they know things are going to go down. Whereas the retail traders, obviously most retail traders are fueled with hype and emotion. There's not a lot of fundamentals. And YouTube is a big contributor to that, and Wall Street bets and those kind of people. They stay in the market. So as soon as the big money moves out, the big traders, the professional traders, the only people left in the market is your retail traders. And obviously then slowly but surely the market starts going down, because there's just not as much liquidity in the markets anymore. What then happens is the retail traders, one by one, they basically go bust, and they all get wiped out slowly but surely, one by one, as the market goes down. What is exactly what we're seeing now is, as the market goes down, one by one, these retail traders just go bust, and market liquidity just basically shrinks and shrinks and shrinks, which brings prices down even more. So the bottom, technically, from what I understand, and I would like to sort of spark some conversation around the topic, is that the market bottom is mostly determined by two things. So one is the money, where the money is coming from, that's going to turn the bear market into a bull market. And I think that money is coming from the professional traders. It's not coming from the retail traders, because the retail traders are all wiped out. They've got no money. The retail trader group has just shrunk to nothing, and the professional traders, they're sort of still the same size. So they're the only ones that can really turn a bear market into a bull market. But what does the professional traders look at? what do they look at to determine that, hey, you need to go into a bull market again. We need to start putting money back into the system. So if the remainder of us retail traders, us dumb money, us apes, if we know what the professionals are doing, we can make some money back, because then we know when they're going to start to put some money back into the system. And obviously what they are also looking at is how much money is available, and how much money, not money in stocks, money in the economy. Remember that the stock market is just a very small part of the economy. It's a thing on the side where the economy is the big thing, where all the money is flowing in and out and determines the GDP, etc., etc. The stock market is just a trading platform that sits it's a small part of the economy. So the professional traders obviously looks at the economy, and based on that they determine when they need to all go in again and start a bull market. One of the ways that they do that is they look at the availability of money. Basically, how much money is in the consumer's hands and what's the risk profile. If most of the consumers are in debt, then obviously there's a lot of liability in the market, a lot of debt, which means a lot of interest payments, which means people can't spend money on pretty much anything else. So debt, not a good thing, especially if it's high interest debt. Low interest debt, a little bit of a different story. But now that the interest rates are ticking up, obviously that means that there will definitely be more high interest debt out there, especially debt that's already existing, that's linked to the interest rate. So that's going to shrink money availability. The flip side of the coin is that yes, there has been substantial amount of money that has actually been printed. So that obviously brings liquidity, and that's the reason we are where we are. That's the reason the market is so high, is because of all that excess money in the system, because there's been so much money printed. The Fed obviously tries to basically lessens the availability of money by increasing interest rates. So that's how they're trying to do it. And I think the smart money, basically what they're looking for is when interest rates will stop rising. So as I understand it, the bear market's only going to actually bottom out and turn into a bull market when the interest rates stops going up. Whenever the Fed's going to announce that there's going to be no more interest rate hikes. And that's all determined on inflation. So it's all linked. Because if inflation suddenly looks like it's going to be under control, then only will the Fed say, okay, cool, we're going to stop hiking interest rates. And if we look at inflation, what determines inflation? Obviously, it is the scarcity of goods plus money in the market. If there's not a lot of money in the market, then prices will be high. If there's too much money in the market, then prices would be high. And if there's not enough, it's obviously the supply and demand issue. If supply goes down, aka value supply chains, then if supply goes down, things get more expensive, inflation goes up. If there's too much money in the system, things also gets more expensive, prices go up. So the interest rates are definitely going to have less money in the system. That's what interest rates are going to do. But the supply chains might still be an issue. As we know, most of the supply chain issues will only resolve itself by end of 2023. End of 2022, beginning of 2023, sorry. So that's when they will actually start resolving themselves. So as soon as that happens, then it will get inflation under control. And if inflation gets under control, then the Fed will stop hiking interest rates. And the interest rate hike stop will trigger smart money, because they look at the fundamentals, to buy back into the market, which will start the bull market again. So that's what I think is happening. So yeah, this is just me thinking out loud, trying to figure out how the bigger system of things work. I'm not really looking at individual stocks right now, just the bigger picture. What determines where the market's going, and what's technically pushing us into a bear market or a bull market. That's basically it. So please feel free to leave a comment, and help me where I've missed some things, or maybe got some things wrong. And if you would like to see more of these vids, if you want to join the next discussion, please remember to like and subscribe. Until next time, ciao.